Hey, all my friends across Kansas, John Felt here, and this is the Kansas Cardinal Weekly Weather Briefing for June 14th. I'm going to be talking about a lot of hot weather, but there is a pullback of temperatures ahead, but it's not going to last all that long. Let's get started right away. Well, here's some of the weather risks that we are looking at this week, and I think the two that are closest to Kansas are going to be the hot temperatures, unusually hot temperatures in this area of red, generally to our east, and then the very heavy rain in this area of green, as well as the chance for some severe storms. Our risk this week, we could have some high winds, especially over western Kansas on the 17th through the 19th. Now, the big story last week was a very heavy rain over South Florida, this region right here. I bet we're going to get a report of 30 inches somewhere in the Everglades region. I'll be talking a little bit more about that in the briefing later. So we had a stripe of some heavier rain. Actually, it was a pretty quiet week over most of the Midwest, but we had a couple inches of rain over the region. Maybe that'd be south central to southeast Kansas, and lighter rain elsewhere. As far as a departure from normal temperatures, we averaged anywhere from near normal up to about 3 or 4 degrees above normal over western Kansas. And the hottest temperatures last week, take a look at this. We are now hitting 100 degrees over the western part of the state. That's the dark orange. And the red is over nearly 105, so right there along the Colorado border. In addition, we are getting some muggy air. It's not all that bad for June. It's 60s to lower 70s, but still we're getting some muggy air in there, so the heat index is also getting up there. Reason why it's so hot is this big dome of high pressure here, and as we get towards the end of the week, or mid to end week, it pushes off to the east, and that's why our temperatures are going to ease a little bit, but they're going to rise in areas to our east. So you can see here, we're, like we've seen quite some time, we're sort of in between the biggest departures. And we sort of sit close to normal here on the averages. And then as we get towards the end of June, we rise above normal again. Now, as far as the heat risk goes, the area in purple is the most extreme. So we have a level 2 heat risk, and 3 is the area in red. So 2 and 3. 4 is the area in purple. So we are definitely going to feel the heat and humidity right through Tuesday, and then it's going to ease a little bit through the middle part of the week. And I think we're going to be hearing a lot about the northeast U.S. These are all the records that are forecast to be set in areas that typically don't get that hot. So New York and other areas, Boston, are really going to feel that heat and humidity this week. Okay, so that's temperature. Let's go back to rainfall. Now, the tropics I mentioned are so hot. The Caribbean's a record hot. The Gulf of Mexico's 86, 87 degrees. So we're going to get these plumes of tropical moisture pushing in along the North Gulf Coast, West Gulf Coast, and Florida coast, like we saw in Florida this week. And there is the possibility of a circulation here. And what that's going to do is bring some heavy rain to the Gulf of Mexico coast. Now let's take a look at Kansas here. Any rain here? Well, the heaviest rain, we're going to have this stalled boundary right here. And we're going to have a multi-day rain event centered in Minnesota. And some of that could get into Kansas, but overall, just like temperature, I think we're going to be in between the significant heavy rain to our north and well to our south. So let's get into the details here, and right here. So what we have here is, you can see right through Monday, unusually hot, even into Tuesday, and then we pull back a bit with clouds and the chance of storms. So that's going to pull our temperatures down as we get maybe starting on Wednesday. So hot and humid until then, and then pulling back. Now let's take a look at the bigger picture. So this is that hot and humid period. Then we pull back a bit, maybe through the end of the week, and then we warm up again, and next week above normal. Now this is a GEFS. It runs about 3 degrees hotter than normal. But the message is hot and humid, a pull back, and then back up. Now let's take a look at rainfall. This is, I'm looking at the blue bar graph here, and this is saying through the midweek chance of rain, and it's saying on the average here maybe from 2/10 of an inch of rain up to a little bit over an inch. That's at Manhattan, and that's a high range, and that's because the models don't have all that much certainty at this time. Okay, let's look at week 2. This is on the right. And remember I said it's going to warm up again. Well, above normal, and we got a little bit of light green here. I think in week 2 what we're going to see is above normal temperatures in the 90s, and we're going to be seeing a chance of rain more days than not. Might only be 20-30% a lot of those days, hit or miss, but summertime weather, but hotter than normal. That's this week's briefing. If you ever have any questions, send me an email, john.bwoweather@gmail.com. If you want me to add something to these briefings I'm not covering, let me know. If something you like, let me know too. Take care.